Ray here, and I have got a very special guest that it's hard to believe I've never had on any of the Hangouts or the radio show yet, Mr. Todd Gross, who, for whatever reason, seems to like to follow me around the country. When I lived in New England, in the Boston area, he was my weatherman, and when I moved to Salt Lake City, he followed me and became my weatherman here, and now he's finally gotten the hint and gone back to New England, so I don't get to see him on TV very much anymore, but I get to see him on the computer all the time. Todd, how are you, and how's the weather out there in the good old Boston area?
Good. It's very cold. I like it this way. I was telling you before, there's this storm that's going to brush us tomorrow, and there's all kinds of blizzard warnings for the Cape. But I have a feeling I'm going to miss it here. I live near Worcester. We're probably going to miss it. But it's been cold.
I used to live about 20 minutes south of Worcester. So.
Oh, really? Very nice. Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that you're out in Utah now, and I was there for several years, and it's really nice out there as well. I love both areas of the country.
Yeah, I used to live down 395 in Plainfield, so.
Oh, what do you know? Yeah, it's small world.
Hard to believe. Well, I got you on here today because you have something special going on with another friend of ours, Mark DeLeese, who is well known for all of his very cool video marketing tools, like what was it? Traffic Player was one of his big ones over the last few years, and he's got something that you're pretty much the one who got him to release.
Yeah, we kind of powwowed about it. It's called Video Effects Press, and you know how when you go to PayPal, as an example, Ray, you know how it's full screen, and there'll be a video in the background. Excuse me for one moment. Peace, love, and cashmere. My wife wants you to see that. I don't know if you can see that. Thank you very much. He's often a guest star on the Hangouts.
Nice.
Anyway, just like that was full screen. If you have a video in the background, or let's say a still image, or even just a color, if you have it full screen and then another element on top of it, you can get something extremely impressive and professional looking. And you're actually showing it right now, Ray. What you're looking at here is not only a very striking video in the backdrop, but now you're looking at a video on top of the video and an opt-in box on top of the video. So very versatile in what you could do here on this particular WordPress theme. So I was really excited when he told me that he can do something with some of my video backgrounds, and then we just kind of moved the whole thing to getting really professional kick-butt backgrounds that are so striking that we include. We include 5 of them on the basic offer here, and then a WordPress theme that can be used so that you can have something that looks just like this. That is a foreground element of any kind that you could dream of, including a video on top of these wild backgrounds. And that's basically what we have going in a nutshell.
Yeah, and we've seen that become pretty popular over the last few years. I remember quite strikingly more recently when Andy Jenkins came out with Video Genesis, that he had a thing where the background had him on the side playing on a computer, So as you're looking at the website, he's on the side tapping away on his keyboard and everything. So there's just some very cool stuff that you can do with this type of interactivity. And of course, I'm all about the interactivity. I love doing that. I think it's visually appealing. It gets people's attention. But what I love about this, and I've barely gotten my hands into it yet, but what I love about this is actually a couple of things. One, it's completely responsive. So as you as the screen size changes, it actually adjusts to that, which is fantastic. But the other thing that I really like is when I first saw this, I thought, oh, you can make little opt-in pages. But what I didn't realize is you could do your entire site this way. I mean, this isn't, it just happens to be used as an opt-in page here, but it can be used as a full website.
Yeah, in fact, if you look at this particular one that you just called up, you can see that isn't quite really an opt-in. What that is a button that's underneath a video that's in a box. And you can change, with this WordPress theme, the look of that box. You could change the look of that button. and you can make that button go anywhere you want, including you can make that into a Pay Now button if you want to sell something. So you could conceivably use it as a sales page only. And you know, one of the things I struggled with for many years when I started was I didn't team up with really hotshot graphics people. I never really spent the money on it or was able to find the right people to team up with, and I kept struggling on my own to put sales pages out. So I'd go into Composer or something similar to it at the time and actually kind of get an HTML sales page up that was very rudimentary, and it looked terrible, and it was just a sign of non-professionalism. Now with this, we're doing it for a cost that's really next to nothing, which is why I'm involved. I mean, when I got involved, that was the first thing I told Mark. When he saw all my recent launches doing well, he said, "What are you doing?" I'm saying, "I'm getting it out to a lot of people at a low cost. I think I really want to do that." So it was great that I was able to get it out to so many different people, but in this particular case, what's really cool is all these people that purchase this for the low cost will all of a sudden have an air of professionalism for whatever they want to do that they wouldn't have had otherwise. And I wish I had had that when I started, you know, something that made me look so good without having to, you know, kind of clunk things together.
Oh, absolutely, and I know what you mean with that. I remember, you know, struggling with that, trying to put together some sort of a sales page and thinking, oh well, you know, it's good enough, and you look back at it now and you think, oh my gosh, what in the world was that? That is just frightening how horrible that was, or tacky, or whatever. And this just, I mean, not only is it cool that it's got the video background, and that's obviously a big strong selling point. But what I loved about this was the controllability of the entire process, the entire screen. Because as you can see in here, you know, you've got your opt-in here, you've got your box here, but all of this is completely controllable, from whether it's a square box or a round box, to the edges around it, to the texture that's in here, to the opacity. I mean, I was blown away at the amount of control this has, right, and yet wasn't very difficult to use.
Well, I think you'll agree too that I was just going to say that it wasn't that hard to actually make those changes the way that it's laid out. The WordPress theme, basically you go into on a page, you make a new page in your WordPress, and then on that page at the bottom are just some controls where you just open up, you know, the various different lists of things you can do, and you can make those changes fairly quickly. In fact, there's an update to the one that I gave you that makes it even easier to do the opt-in boxes. There's 3 choices for opt-in boxes now, and it really makes it even easier. One of them is the invisible kind, and the invisible kind of opt-in I really like because it seems to blend in with the background page. But one of the things I wanted to mention is you could also make your clients' sites. If you have clients who are offline or online, you can make your client sites with this, and that would look very impressive, to the point that they may want to keep you and not somebody else, because this will make them look spiffy. And that's another thing that's only going to cost a few dollars more. So we're already talking about a price that's ridiculously low. I see he's going into the actual controls. And then in addition to that, it's just a few dollars more for the developer's option. Ray, I really appreciate your doing this, going in like that to show the ease of it.
Well, actually, this I got to admit, this is just Mark's video that I'm just scrubbing through.
Oh.
You can see how easy it is to just make these changes. You can see the opacity of the box there, and I mean, just highly adjustable on all of this. And of course, the cool thing is, this video that I'm showing, this is the type of training you get in there, so it's very detailed training that people get as well. So if you're not a WordPress expert, you're going to pick this up really quick.
Yeah, and again, it's good if you have some knowledge of WordPress, if you know how to install it and that sort of thing. It's not hard to pick up, but most of you do already. And as you said, Ray, it's probably good to install this in a separate, because it's a theme, it would be good to install it in a separate WordPress installation. And use it specifically for this, most likely. Is that how you would use it, Ray?
Well, like I said, at first I was thinking it was just an opt-in, creator like this, in which case I would probably put it in a subdomain. But honestly, I'm coming up with a new site, hopefully soon, that deals with video marketing lessons and whatnot. And I'm thinking, this would be the theme that I would use, is some sort of video in the background and all of the information in the middle, whether it's video or articles, things of that nature. It just automatically put it right in the center like a regular blog with a video background.
Right. Yeah, that's a great idea, as a matter of fact. I could see you doing the training right in the middle there now. It's just in my brain. Great idea.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this: you mentioned there's a few different upgrades and things like that. What actually comes with this particular system out of the box?
Okay, so it's this really pretty major theme. I mean, it's simple to use, but it is a major theme, as you mentioned, a WordPress theme that's perfect for marketers to do this kind of overlay on top of a full-screen video background. That is included for what is a ridiculous price. I mean, we're starting out like in the low teens, really low, depending on when you're watching this particular video right here, this particular Hangout. And then we're just going to be raising it every 12 hours or so, so you'll want to watch the timer on that. But we're never going to get too crazy high on it. It's starting in the teens. And basically, what we're including with that are 5 of those backgrounds, very similar to what you see right there. One is a shooting star background, which is just really wild because it's the Milky Way actually setting and then shooting stars, shooting through the sky. And then we have 3 more that are also equally as impressive that we're including as the backdrop for the first 5. Now, after that, we've gone out and found 15 more that are just crazy good, including palm trees and crashing ocean waves, jet fighters flying,
nice.
Roses blowing in the wind, clouds forming on the mountains, and those additional 15 will also be a low cost. Those videos meant to work with this particular WordPress theme right out of the box. So that will basically be the upgrade to this, the main upgrade to this, if you choose to upgrade. And between the original 5 videos and that video set, and we're talking about really, the wildest videos that you can probably find online. I mean, that's what we're kind of including here. Not my green screen video backdrops, which are nice, but really some of the real crazy good ones. That's what you're getting, so that you have, all these backgrounds covered. So that's basically it. And the 2 front-end options, again, one is for this, as I said, like somewhere in the teens, with the 5 backgrounds, but you also have an option for just a few dollars more to get the developer's version, which would allow you to use it on your client sites, which is probably pretty important for some people in this particular case.
Yeah, and I want to double emphasize that again. We're showing an opt-in style, single button thing here, but if you're somebody who does work with a plumber, I mean, you could have a full site in the center box. It doesn't have to be just a box this size. It can be a full page box with all of your buttons and your tabs for your different articles and things like that, with just a nice video background and whatever else you put in there. So this is a full theme for a full site. It just happens to be being used as a quick little sales tool here, but it can be an entire site, which is really cool. And I'm liking that.
The video, as obviously this is a mostly video background, but as you said, you can have a substantial site in the middle, and then the video would kind of be on the edges if you did that, which actually still looks good, because what we're got used to for so many years seeing, because of the limitations of the internet, was just a white or gray or textured backdrop.
Right.
You could do if you wanted, but in this case, we wanted to make it so that you could use these full motion videos. Now, if you do use one of those other very simple backgrounds, like just a texture, remember, it's still a responsive theme, so it still means that as the window gets smaller, it will shrink, and larger it will grow, and that will also work in a mobile device, an iPad, an iPhone, and that kind of thing.
Beautiful. And the other thing too is, for those of you who are wondering too, if you've shot video, you could use that as the background, correct? as long as
Yes,
you
this is
format it
now.
properly?
Here's the key, and that's a very good question because I was even baffled by a piece of instructions from Mark, and I made him totally clarify it for me, and it's as simple as pie. You need two kinds of videos: an MP4 video and a WebM video, WEBM. And I said, "What is a WebM? I didn't know." And he explained to me it's just a converted video, and if you put in the slot, it's right in the theme. If you put it in the two slots, one where you put the MP4 and one where you put the WebM, it will then work responsive in 95%, or actually it was 99% of all browsers and combinations of Windows and Mac and that sort of thing, operating systems.
Yes. Those of you with Netscape 5, you might be a little out of luck, but...
So we actually provide you both the MP4 and the WebM files for these particular background videos, but if you have your own, there are very easy converters, and you could look them up right away. Of course, he tells you about it in the instructions, but there's very easy, inexpensive, usually free converters to get your MP4 to a WebM, so it's an easy conversion process, not a big deal. I was a little put off when I first saw WebM, and then I think he had an OGG file as well, something like that. I didn't know what all those other terms were, but it works just fine. There's no problem with it.
And maybe what I'll do is I'll actually add some resources for that so that people can get a free converter of some sort to do that in case that's an issue for anybody. And don't forget, also guys, you can always go to a place like Video Hive or Video Blocks if you have a subscription there, and there's just tons and tons and tons of other video that you could pull out of there and use. Christmas videos and I mean, who knows what else out there.
Okay, Ray, I lost the connection. I'm not sure if you could see me.
Oh,
if
I can,
if not,
yes.
I'll just stay right here and let you finish off. If you can see me, great. It's been a pleasure talking to you about this. There we go.
I can. I don't know if you can hear me, but I can see you and I can hear you. So
I can now. It said your network connection is experiencing difficulties. A little blue box came up. But
that's funny. Yeah, we didn't even lose you for a second. We heard everything you said, so that's good.
That's good. You just saw me turn white for a second. Yeah, so it's good to be back on. I lost you again for a second. So with the internet connection coming in and out, perhaps we should wrap it up. But I just want to remind everyone, you could get in at that really special introductory price that Ray's going to tell you about. And I got to tell you, the sooner you move on it, the lower cost it will be. You have to understand, in no case will it be one of these pricey things. I've just twisted Mark's arm to make sure that we are providing this to a large number of people, and we can get this quality item, this quality WordPress theme for internet marketers to the maximum number of people.
Beautiful. Well, we definitely appreciate the fact that you twisted Mark's arm for that, and I'm sure everybody will love that because it's a great little product. Like I said, I've barely gotten my hands on it so far, so I haven't been able to dig fully into it, but so far what I've seen is fantastic, and I'm really loving it, and I'm glad you guys did this because I think people are going to really enjoy this. I know they want to be able to do these cool things, and they want something easy, and they want something inexpensive, and this kind of hits on all of those. And really allows us to get all of that for a great price and be able to build all of these great tools. And I think we really did lose Todd this time. So with that, yeah, we did. We really lost you that time. I think you disappeared off of there and everything.
At least it came back. Yeah, I heard just about everything you said. And I got to say, with your folks being so interested in video, this whole idea of video on video, if they make a video. Whether it's a PowerPoint style video or it's them on camera, I think this is perfectly suited for that, and I'm really glad that you picked up on it, Ray. I really do appreciate it, so thanks for having me on.
Oh, no problem. I'm sure everyone's going to love it. And guys, I haven't fully put together a bonus for this yet, but what I'm thinking is probably one I'm going to give you some resources for creating those WebM videos so that if you've got some MP4s you need to convert, we'll be able to get you to convert those pretty easily. But we're also going to throw in, I've got some backgrounds that I'll throw in there for you as well so that you can use those. And I'll throw in maybe a resource guide that will help you to get other videos if you're looking for different things to put into the background without spending a fortune on them. And maybe a few other goodies as well. But Todd, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been really cool. I'm very excited about this product, and I think everybody else will too. Any final words?
Oh, just everybody, I want you to know how much I enjoy working with Ray and how lucky you are to be on basically in Ray's group. I'm not going to say on Ray's list. It just sounds wrong, but in Ray's group, because
in the family,
he puts out great stuff, and he always offers good advice, and he always keeps you focused on video. So congratulations to you for being with Ray.
Well, thanks, Todd, and good luck tomorrow. And guys, we'll be on the other side. Thanks.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.